Are you also someone who overthinks so much that you miss what's really happening right now? If yes, then same here. Because I am the same person and I overthink too much. To be honest, I googled one fine day that what are the causes of having negative thoughts and overthinking so much about life, and what are the causes behind that, how can I get rid of it? And the solutions and the reasons I got was almost everything that I was doing on daily basis. Hi everyone, welcome back to your channel once again. This is Manu, and in today's video we are going to talk about the killer of all the joys in life, overthinking. And it is no one else, nobody has any part to play in this. Nobody has any role to play in this. It's just your mind, it's just you, and you are doing everything in your capacity to make yourself out feel like out of the place and to make yourself feel like less important. So, this is just your brain. Let us try to understand what's going on. A couple of days ago, I started Googling stuff. Whenever I feel something, I start to Google and I start asking people around me, like, what is that exact thing that I'm feeling and why is it happening with me? I was constantly multitasking, handling and juggling between so many tasks at the same time. In today's era, in today's world, there's so much content that you have to consume everywhere. You're watching news, you're watching Instagram reels, you're watching YouTube shorts, you are doing all that you can, and you're just constantly consuming the content. And that is doing nothing but that is also an aspect into your overthinking, because you're consuming so much content and you are feeling like you're doing not enough. Whatever you're doing is always less than the other person is doing, because you have already consumed a lot of content from everywhere. Secondly, you're not giving yourself the time to go out and breathe. Like, we're not teenagers anymore. We cannot go outside and play in the park, but at least we can go for a walk. At least we can give ourselves the time to go and play. And at least we can join the gym. At least we can do anything for our body, mind, and soul. And that is very concerning. We sleep late and we wake up late, and this cycle just goes on. We're constantly juggling between multiple tasks, and we are appreciating it that we can multitask at the same time. But our brain, the human brain, is not made for multitasking. I would read 4 to 5 pages and then I would realize that, oh, I was not paying attention to it. I read the entire thing, but I don't exactly know what happened in the story. So that's the situation that made me realize that there's something wrong. And that is why I'm struggling over here. The problem with overthinking is that you are constantly living in a world that did not happen for you. You imagine things, you assume things, but it's not actually happening. It's just you're constantly having thoughts about things that would happen in the future, but if they don't happen, it's just killing all the joy inside you. And that was your expectations that made you feel like you were not doing enough. There are so many things that are related to this one factor, which we can call overthinking, because I constantly researched about it. A couple of days ago, I was having a conversation with this person, and he told me that discipline is something I used to think that is very hurtful, that is very, difficult to achieve. For me, it is quite restraining. If I want to do something and if I really want to do something and I have the time and efforts I can put into it, but I'm not doing it just because I have to be somewhere else and I have that discipline in me, I go there. I used to think that discipline is quite difficult to achieve, but now that I follow discipline, that I am a disciplined person, I find myself that I have so much time to explore. I have so much time to be myself. And that person made me realize that discipline actually sets you free. It gives you the freedom and it gives you the liberty to be wherever you are, to do whatever you want. Because you have a schedule for everything, you have a routine for everything. Honestly, I've never been that person who could follow a routine, because I also believe in going with the flow. So let's say a task came up, but if you are a disciplined person, you would do what you were supposed to do first of all, and that sets you free, and that sets you apart from all those people who would do anything that comes their way. I also read a book about it a couple of days ago, and that made me think about it for a while. I understood that discipline, consistency, all of these things are somehow related. You are not consistent because you are not disciplined. Just think it over. I thought about it. I am not consistent because I am not disciplined. And I am not disciplined because I'm not consistent. How relatable they are. Now, talking about overthinking. Why do you overthink? Because you do not go out. You have a lot of time to consume a lot of media and content that you end up overthinking. You are not trying to activate all your senses. Like if you paint, just paint with all your heart. Use all your senses. Read, hear, see, smell a flower. And when I say this, I want to quote this thing that there's a difference between listening and hearing. There's a lot of difference between that. When you are listening to someone, you are understanding what they're saying, you're comprehending it. But when you're just hearing it, you're not actually paying attention to them. You just heard it, but you don't know what they said. It didn't go inside your brain. So these are the things that I've been constantly, thinking about. And I have been trying to read more books, and I've been trying to indulge myself into books so that I'm not just reading the pages, but I am also comprehending the pages. I don't really think that you need some motivational factors or some outer motivation or videos in order to make you disciplined. It just comes within you. I don't want to hit gym today, but I know that it is very important for me. And if I lose track today, I might not be able to go tomorrow as well. And if I don't create a video today, I won't feel like creating video tomorrow either. So that is discipline telling you all the time, all the while that you need to stand up even though you don't feel like it, even though you're sick, you need to make it. So I'm creating this video no matter what I feel, no matter how busy I got, no matter what I was doing. And and what I feel is that most of the times we are not even busy. We are just constantly trying to be busy so that we don't do all those things that are a bit difficult, that are a bit not part of our routines. So it is important to make them a part of your routine so that even though it is difficult, you have to force yourself into doing that. And once you start enjoying that, you won't lose track of time, according to me. The time when I tell you guys what I'm going to do in order to achieve my discipline, in order to start a life once again, wherein I'm not overthinking about things, but I'm actually focusing upon my tasks and getting them done rather than wasting my time by overthinking and, uh, you know, having these fake imaginations about things that did not happen and that are possibly not going to happen because it would just, kill my excitement for everything. I'm going to do some deep breathing exercises. And one thing that I would recommend all of you to do, that is something that I learned from one of my friends. And she told me what she does is she would have a worry time. In the entire day, she would spend 10 to 20 minutes journaling and just worrying about things, whether it is her career or it is her relationships or it is about her job, her manager, anything that she has worries. And she would just think about that entire thing in her head for just 10 minutes. And that is the only time that she would spend overthinking. She told me that, Manu, I don't spend more than 10 minutes thinking about things ever since that day I started this thing. So I told her, like, how was it possible? If I start overthinking about anything or just thinking about my worries, I would spend the entire night doing that. And she was like, I am busy and I don't have that much of time. Uh, I have reduced my social media times and I don't use social media that much, and that makes me less worried. A lot of people, you won't believe, but a lot of people have told me that ever since the day they became a creator, they started overthinking less. And it actually stopped because when you watch other people, you are not adding value to your life. But when you start creating something for yourself, you start adding value to your life. And that makes you stop overthinking. And that goes the same way because let's say you have 10 tasks for today to get done. And You need to get it done, but you started them and you haven't done any of them. You have done halfway of all of them, 25% of something, but you have not done it completely. You have not finished it altogether. So that is where the problem lies, and that is where you need to work upon, because I am also working on that. So try to be more disciplined, because a disciplined approach is, it will just go a long way for you. Because I have realized with time that it's not consistency, it's just discipline, and that makes you consistent. So if you're not disciplined about anything, you won't be consistent, whether it is being on time or it is doing things on time, anything. And I don't really think that it is a outer source or factor. It is something that comes from within you. And if you know that this task is my priority and I should be doing that task, you should have that discipline in you to finish that task. Overthinking happens because most of the time you know that you are not doing the things that you're supposed to do, and then you start overthinking about those things. You are also worried when you have a job, you're also worried when you don't have a job. So I think while you have a job, you should make the most out of it and you should do your job with 100% consistency and discipline. I hope this video really helps you, and if it did or if it does, make sure to subscribe the channel, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye.